1, 2, 1, 2. How's that? Has that fixed the sound? So I think that should have fixed the sound. So let me know if you can hear me now. So welcome everyone to
1,
the
2,
1, 2. How's that? Has that fixed the sound? So welcome to the live stream, everyone. So just a few announcements while we're waiting for the... Cool, thanks Darnell. Just a few announcements while we're waiting for a few more people to log in. So, thanks John. So I've got another First Contact play shot coming up with the Pleiadians this Sunday, 6 PM UK time. So if you're interested in that, check out the website. If you go to the website, jonathancmartin.com, and maybe I'll post a link in the box below. And check out, yeah, go to the website, jonathancmartin.com, and go to the events section at the top, and you should see First Contact play shot there. And also the Learn to Channel course. The Learn to Channel course is running again in June. So that's cool. So, how's it going, guys? Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to Awakening to Bliss. So, fun live stream talking about bliss. So, what is bliss? So, bliss, I guess we could say, is our natural state. It is, I guess bliss is the nature of consciousness, the nature of reality, because perhaps we could say God was excited to create creation. It's all bliss, it's all excitement, it's all joy, it's all just, it's like what was like bliss. Well, it is. Bliss appears to be our natural state, fortunately. When we let go of our minds, when we are able to step out of our thoughts that are telling us that we need to achieve something to be happy, we naturally become happy. So what is here when we just let the mind quieten down, when we're not telling ourselves, because really what the mind is what is blocking bliss, because bliss is our natural state, joy is our natural state. And when we are telling ourselves that we need to do something to achieve bliss, i.e., I need the perfect partner, the perfect relationship, I need more money, I need a better house, a better location, and all these things can help us settle into our natural state of bliss. But the issue is that all the mind noise, this constant mind chatter, I need this, I need this, I need that, I need that, I need, is blocking our natural states. It's going into a vibrational state that's out of alignment with our natural state of bliss. And when we're just able to let the mind rest, a higher state shines through, a higher consciousness just seems to pervade everything. There's this vibrational quality, this essence to everything that is just emanates joy, emanates well-being. it's like everything lights up. This brightness just begins to pervade everything. There's this intrinsic quality to reality. And even when our mind is going crazy, the more we come to recognize this, the more we come to see that that bliss is still there, even when we're depressed, or even when our mind's going crazy. It's somehow we can see, we can sense that this bliss is still there. This vibrant quality to life, this joy, this immense well-being, this warm, this vibrant, joyous, alive light just is in everything. Even when our mind's going crazy, it's always there. But the secret is to learn to steady our mind, learn to just see that it's always there. But I guess the nature of the mind is, I guess the mind likes to solve problems. That's what the mind is used for. It's like the mind is a tool we have to solve problems, to help us carry out tasks in human life. And the mind is great at solving problems. That's what the mind's designed for. If our car is broken down, we can use our mind to work out what needs to be done to repair the car. But what's happening is we're now evolving to a level of consciousness in our civilization where we're, in a sense, going beyond the mind. We're moving to a more instinctual, intuitive way of living. And in a sense, the mind has grown to believe it is in somehow an entity, a being, somehow these passing thought forms that pass through our consciousness have been believing for so long that they are us, or we have believed that we are them, or we've come to identify with this incessant thought stream as our nature. And these thoughts continue to birth out of creation to say, I am Jonathan, I am alive, I am a person. And as we come to see that our nature is bliss, and we can just rest into this stillness, this silence, this bliss, this intense joy, and understand that we create our reality from our vibrational state. So we don't really need to do as much with our mind as we think we do. In fact, if we let go of our minds completely, our lives would flow much better. Everything that was relevant for us would naturally flow into our reality. So in a sense, the mind is becoming very redundant, except for tasks now and then. But the mind has come to believe it is somehow an entity, and the mind and these thought streams that pass through us have been continuously telling us that we are them, and if they cease, we die. So the mind keeps thinking, and it keeps thinking and thinking and thinking, Because when the mind isn't thinking, it doesn't exist. And the mind doesn't want to stop existing, so it keeps telling us that we can't live without it. And this is why, as many of us go through this spiritual expansion, our minds can go a bit crazy. And they begin to look for problems where there are none. They begin to try and create problems so that they can perpetuate their existence. And the mind rebels. The mind starts to dig its heels in and says, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not shutting up. I don't want to die. You'll die without me. We are one. We will die if I shut up, if I cease speaking. So the mind tries to look for reasons to perpetuate itself, and it starts to look for problems, because that's what that's the mind's life, that's the mind's existence, solving problems. So it begins to look for problems. We begin to quiet the mind, and we begin to settle into bliss and joy, but the mind says, no, you can't do without me. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. You need me. You need me. You won't be able to pay your bills without me. Your life will collapse without me. Bad things will happen without me. I assure you, bad things are going to happen if you stop listening to me. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going nowhere. I'm digging my heels in. I'm putting my foot down. I'm staying where I am. You'll die without me. You're going to die. You're going to die. You're going to die. Bad things will happen. You'll become a social outcast. Everyone will laugh at you. And so the mind does everything it can to dig its heels in. So in a sense, what we have to do is we have to come to see that we are moving into this new existence, this new reality. And come to see that we are bliss. And everything the mind has been trying to achieve exists as us before the mind even came into existence. For bliss is our nature. And I guess we can begin to perhaps enter a conversation with the mind. And when we're dropping into bliss, when we are able to quiet our mind for a few moments and we feel the bliss rising. And the mind says, no. We say, hey mind, thank you for supporting me for so long. You've been a great aid through this third density reality. You've helped me so greatly. But we're now ascending together, perhaps, if you wish, to a new reality. And ultimately, we're not ascending together because really you don't exist. You're just a thought. And when this thought is passed, you are gone. You've been tricking yourself and me into believing you have existence. But it's okay, because what you think is your existence and what you're telling me is my existence is not existence. We are just existence. And you're not going to die because nothing can die. And I'm not going to die because I can't die, because there is only bliss. There is only consciousness. There is only infinite awareness, infinite being, infinite love, infinite light. And we can sort of notice that as the mind starts to panic, as we drop into the joy that is inherently here in all things, we can sort of go, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We are the infinite one. We are God. We are creation itself. We are the bliss. We are the reality. We are the life. We're not going nowhere. And if we can take like a few minutes every day, at every opportunity, many opportunities throughout the day, to just silence our mind, to observe the space between thoughts and see that bliss is everywhere, joy is everywhere, life emanates joy. Joy is the fabric of the cosmos. Joy is the fabric of reality. We are made of joy. We are made of bliss. This intense, vibrant aliveness emanates out of everything, is intrinsic to reality, intrinsic to nature. And we can stop seeking it outside of us, in things, in enlightenment, in peace. And we can see that we are enlightenment, we are peace. And everything we've been seeking all along is right here, right now. And we are free to be whatever we want to be. And we can understand that we create our reality vibrationally. And we can come to see it, that the more we rest into this joy, the more we rest into this bliss, the more the abundance start to flow to us. And the more we try and fight reality with our minds, the more we listen to our mind when it digs its heels. It says, no, I'm not letting you rest into bliss. We've got to make money. We've got to find a partner. We've got to do this. We've got to do that. The more we can see that our life deteriorates, that we create reflections of this negative vibrational state. And the more we can see that as we stay centered in our being, in our beingness, in our awareness, in our consciousness is prior to mind, this joy emanates or begins to emanate more and more. And when we're in this state, we remember that we create vibrationally, that the law of attraction is in operation, and we are always attracting to us the vibrational state we are emitting. And when we are centered, we are dropping into our natural bliss state and attracting more abundance, attracting more blissful surroundings, more blissful people, more blissful life circumstances, because we are creating out of our vibrational state in the present moment. And we can see that our past belief that we need our mind to panic and dig our heels in and strive and struggle and fight to create reality, we can see that we just reflect more of that and it doesn't work. And we can enter into this dialogue with the mind and say, look, we can chill, we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. We create vibrationally. We can rest as we are. And we can see that it's going to be okay. We're not going to die. There is no death. There is only this. There is only life. There is only bliss. So hey guys, welcome to Bliss. Welcome to the joy of life. So, massive wave came in yesterday stroke today. Full blown crown stroke heart expansion. Knocked me on my feet. Total bliss moment. Nice. Awesome. I'm liking this Bliss live stream. I'm attracting blissful people to me. I'm manifesting more bliss it is. Maybe I'll do a Bliss live stream once a week. That would be cool. A quiet and still mind is our natural state. So proper group meditation is an easy way of experiencing bliss. We are a race that is designed to function as a collective, like a tribe. E.g., a group of cats are in a state of bliss because they are in a constant state of alchemization, playfulness, and mindfulness. This is why innocent children are so blissful, playing with each other. Yeah, totally. And children and animals and pets and cats are a great example of this, because they don't have minds telling them that they need to do something to be happy. They're just totally blissed out in the moment, whether they're eating their food or being stroked or sleeping or eating a pigeon's head. Sorry, my parents have a cat and it likes to eat pigeons regularly. Yeah, and the animals and the children, because they don't have the conditioning, they haven't taken on the conditioning of society that we need to do something, that we have to achieve, we have to earn at least $40,000 a year, and we have to have a 3-bedroom house and 2.4 children, and then we will have succeeded as a human, and then we are allowed to be happy. Because children haven't taken on this insane conditioning from society. They're just naturally blissful, naturally joyful. They're not thinking about the next moment. Will I be happy 2 hours from now? Will I have enough money to be happy 3 weeks from now? What will happen if my partner leaves me in 1 month? What will happen if I don't pay my taxes? What will happen if I don't get an insurance plan for when I'm 72 and so old I can't do anything? They don't have these beliefs. Anyone that doesn't, and this is why, like, heavily, like, mentally impaired beings, you see, like, these sort of autistic people or heavily mentally disabled people, and they're just the happiest people you've ever seen. They can't speak. They don't seem to be able to think in the same way we do. They just they seem to be, like, completely unable to really do anything. Yet they seem to be so happy. Immensely happy. See, society tells us, like, to be like that is like the bottom of society. So what do you want to be? The top of society, or free and blissful? So it's really about letting go of the conditioning, because the mind is just conditioning. The mind is just beliefs that have been taken on from someone else. And when we drop it all, we're free. And we see there's joy everywhere. A chaotic and compulsive mind is not our natural state. Our natural state can be witness in an innocent baby. Agreed. We are telepathic beings using an artificial language, conceptual words, sigils, which is keeping humanity binded in a false reality, e.g. the Matrix. What do you think of marijuana? I think, like anything, it can be used positive and negatively. It can be very powerful for spiritual awakening. It can be very powerful for helping us step out of our mind so we can actually see the insanity of the mind. So it can be very powerful, but of course it can also turn into a habit when we just turn into some stony pothead who can't accomplish anything. And just waking up, getting smoked out, and ultimately getting depressed because it's not really in alignment. But yeah, it can be used both ways. It can be very powerful as a spiritual tool for helping us step out of the mind and helping us relax our belief systems. And when it can enable us to step out of the mind for periods of time, long enough to see that we are the bliss state, long enough to see, and long enough to tap into the innate wisdom that is inherent to the bliss state, because the bliss state is, the bliss body is directly connected to source, directly connected to Brahman, to God, to all that is. And from this space there is infinite wisdom, and we can tap that wisdom that knows that the mind is insane, that knows we don't need a partner or money or anything to be blissful. And this, we can tap this wisdom, and we can also experience the bliss state as the mind settles down. So particularly if you've been doing a lot of spiritual practice and you use it occasionally, it can be very beneficial. But it can be addictive as well, and non-beneficial. I do Stephen Greer CE5 guided meditation. Hi. I always get telepathic contact. Nice. Yeah, my journey really started into this with the CE5 Dr. Greer meditation. I had some amazing experiences doing that. Some contact experiences, but also amazing experiences where I tapped into other dimensions, blissful dimensions, and saw other realities, other worlds where life is like one big testament and ritual to the highest. Gratitude for the bliss that is life. Gratitude for the magic that is life. So yeah, I'd recommend the Stephen Greer CE5 meditations. They had a big impact on my life, and also manifested some bizarre UFO experiences, which I won't go into now because I've talked about this before. Maybe that can be next week's live stream, a CE5 live stream. See what happens. Billions of beings exist just outside the range of our electromagnetic field, which is the human mind itself. Through a quiet and still mind, we can transcend this mental limitation. And communicate with enlightened and unified civilizations. Yeah, I guess this is what was happening, because when I started doing the CE5 meditations, this was right at the start of my spiritual path. This was really what I'd already been researching spirituality a lot, but I was mainly into conspiracies at that time. And I started doing the CE5 meditations, and I started like getting really powerful visions of. I remember one vision I saw like this like lush green field with this lush green hill, and on top of the hill was this castle, and there were all these like monk type people, all dressed in cyan, you know, the colour cyan, like a sort of beautiful sky blue colour, and they were all dressed in these cyan robes, and they were all carrying these cyan pillows, and in the middle of the pillow there was nothing. But I sort of saw it as a spark of white light, but there was actually nothing. And they were all walking in procession round the turrets, around one of the turrets of this tower, at the base of this turret. And there's several of them, and they were all walking like in a procession, carrying these cyan pillows with nothing on. And that was like what they were doing. They were worshipping nothing. Because nothing is what we are. They were worshipping consciousness, because we are nothing, and nothing is us. Because there is only consciousness in creation, and consciousness doesn't have form of its own. Yet all things come out of it. So ultimately, we are formless, and this is what they were worshipping. They were saying, nothing is the highest. Nothing is divinity, and they were just worshipping nothing. It's quite an amazing vision. Hey everyone, Bliss. Haha, that makes me think of the 80s. Nice. Yeah, we need to get back to the new 80s. The 80s were like the last time life was like really blissful, apart from now, because now it's like super blissful. But before it all went downhill, we went through like the 90s and 2000s, and like we went in some dark times around then. But Everyone was having fun in the 80s, and now we're allowed to have fun again. Now we're in the 2010s. The Pet Shop Boys and Simple Minds. Yeah, the lilacs are out here already. It's been like 24 degrees for like 2 weeks. It's like crazy. Super hot, amazing weather in the UK. Total bliss. A reflection of my bliss, a reflection of our bliss. Bliss for your work, Jonah, and the wondrous people here. Thank you, Elodium. Good to see some new guys in. A few of you, Elodium Pro Deo, Trail of Wonder, DJ Cat, Saffron Hayes. Welcome, John Rusciano, yeah. New guys, a lot of new guys, welcome. And of course all the old guys, Tinfoil, Christy, Cadamasol, Lady Laser, welcome everyone, Darnell. Do you know anything about mystery schools, especially related to ancient Egypt? Yes, quite a lot. I actually have I've actually had some quite powerful visions. I was actually I was an initiate in the mystery schools in ancient Egypt. I quite vividly remember. Well, I'm starting to quite vividly remember them. I used to have a shaved head, and I used to wear like a white robe. And yeah, I know quite yeah, I'm very fascinated about that. And in a sense, they were just teaching what all the teachers are teaching now. If I remember correctly, there were levels of initiation, and apparently in Egypt, from something I've studied, and is the first level of initiation in ancient Egypt. Everyone in the entire country was able to take the first stage of initiation, which is realizing that we are all God. Realizing we are all one, we are all God. But yeah, but I think perhaps there were mysteries still, there were very high level teachings in ancient Egypt, perhaps that we still haven't really uncovered fully, or 99.999% of us are not aware of yet, because we're not ready. There's some very powerful teachings in the mystery schools of ancient Egypt, the initiatic societies, for sure. If you have any specific questions about the mystery schools, I'd be happy to share my perspective, Trail of Wonder. Hi, Mshari. Frack the mystery schools. If there's mysteries after all this time, there'll be eternal mysteries, I guess. Eternally. I guess there's always mystery. You know, there's always greater layers of reality to uncover. This is a journey all the way back to source. If we knew everything, there would be no point in existence. This is the whole point of existence. There's billions and billions of years of spiritual evolution and progression before this universe collapses back into the void and rebirths again. So there's always mysteries to uncover. I believe we're just uncovering the very beginnings of it. We're just beginning to scrape away the tiny edges of the mysteries of creation. And if you notice, Trail of Wonder talking about mystery schools, look at this image here. This image is from a mystery school. I'm fairly certain this is from Karnak Temple in Luxor. And I assume that was one of the, well, I'm sure all the temples were, so this was the location of one of the mystery schools. And the teaching of this mystery school was the teaching of sacred geometry, because the Karnak temple was all built on the, according to sacred geometry. And the teachings were actually built into the temples. The temple was the teaching. So perhaps there's something we can learn just from looking at this image. how life always grows, how there's a natural growth to life. And when we align with for what it was representing in sacred geometry, is that life grows according to the essence of the spiral, the phi, the golden ratio. And this is how all life grows. This is how galaxies are born and plants grow. And it accumulates. And we can use this in our life to, when we tap the power and the wisdom of creation, which is perhaps the divine feminine, the Shakti force, and we align that with the power, the infinite untapped potential, the infinite potential of pure consciousness of the masculine, and align with the impetus of the divine feminine, and begin to follow our excitement, begin to follow our heart and our calling. This is how we manifest magically. For what the mystery school of Karnak teaches us is that when we begin to align fully with our highest excitement, and we act on our highest excitement moment to moment to moment, and we don't go off course, we always stay aligned to our highest excitement, we begin to grow like the spiral. For phi, the golden ratio, works like this, and this is how creation is created. This is how spirals are born. This is how galaxies are born, by a very simple mathematic formula. And it goes like this: 1 + 1 = 2. 2 + 1 = 3. 3 + 2 = 5. 3 + 5 = 8. 8 + 5 = 13. 13 + 8 = 21. 21 + 13 = 34. I think I got those numbers right. But the idea is you're always adding on the previous number. And this is the building blocks of creation. And this is how, and this forms the spiral. This is how, like, ram's horns grow. And how most plants grow. And this is what keeps trees growing in perfect balance, because they grow according to this principle. And what we can use this for is the understanding that when we are following our highest excitement and living from our hearts and creating our reality through the Shakti energy, the Shakti creation force, the feminine growth force, we are creating according to the principles of creation. Because when we're not creating from our mind, when we're not trying to create our reality from our physical minds, for when we're creating from our physical minds, nothing's really working. We're not working with the impetus of the heart. We're not working from the Shakti creative principle of creation, the love, the infinite love of creation that wants to grow, that wants to blossom, that wants to unify, that wants to serve, that wants to assist. When we're not creating from that place, when we're acting from the mind and acting from fear, we are, in a sense, on a dead end, and that's why we get nowhere. And we seem to go on these repetitive cycles where we spend like 40 years of our life trying to create money and never creating any money. It's because it doesn't work. It's because it's fatally flawed. It's fundamentally flawed at its basis, because the physical mind can't create on its own without the love, without the Shakti principle, the creative force of creation. The love creation, the love that creates, we have no true creative potential. But when we begin to act from our excitement, act on our calling, our life's purpose, which is the creative flow of universe, the Shakti principle, the divine feminine birthing in this reality, when we begin to create from that place, we are aligned with the growth, the love, because love is the creative potential of reality. And when we are aligned with that and acting from our hearts and acting upon our excitement and our joy and our love and our compassion for reality and aligning with this potential and acting from that, like not acting from our mind, not thinking I need to do this to get money to do this, or I need to do this to achieve that. When we are surrendering all that, completely surrendering to the heart consciousness and waiting for the guidance of God, waiting for the guidance of Source, the guidance of our higher mind in the form of love, in the form of our heart's wisdom, in the form of excitement. When we are creating from this space, we are creating from the energetic creative potential of creation. We're aligned with the creative power of Source. And this is why it's so much more powerful. And what the mystery school of Karnak and its teaching of sacred geometry and the phi and the golden ratio teaches us is that when we're creating from this space, we're creating according to the essence of the spiral. And this is what happens. Phi, the golden ratio, that creates this spiral. 1 plus 1 equals 2. 2 plus 1 equals 3. 3 plus 2 equals 5. Hold on, I think I've got an image. I think I have a prop I might be able to get on screen to help us understand this. So, image, okay, create new, browse. Let's see if I can find it. Is it here? No, it's on my laptop, I think. It should be on here. No, I don't think I can find it. It's a shame. Is it here? Aha, I found it. We're okay. Okay, so if we look at this image here, yeah, this is what I was talking about. This is, you can see the numbers. If you see, we start here. Can you see my mouse? But you can't see my mouse pointer. It's a shame. But if you look at this spiral, order, move down. Yeah, so if you look at this image, this shows how maths creates the universe, creates the spiral. This is what I'm talking about. If you can possibly see in this, we've got 1 plus 1 equals 2. 2 plus 1 equals 3. 3 plus 2 equals 5, and then we see the 5 in the image, and then we have 5 plus 3 equals 8, and 8 plus 5 equals 13, and 13 plus 8 equals 21, and 21 plus 13 equals 34, and 34 plus 21 equals 55. And you can see how it creates this spiral image, and this is how reality is created. And how we can use this knowledge of the mystery schools that's taught in Karnak Temple, is that this is how life accelerates, and this is why acting from our heart and acting in alignment with the creative impulse of life, creative impulse of the universe, and this mathematical formula that creates life is infinitely more powerful than acting from the mind, is because it builds and it grows. When we act moment to moment upon our excitement, it builds in this format. We raise our frequency from perhaps 1 plus 1. When we act on our excitement for like 1 day, we're doing like 1 plus 1 equals 2. And then when we act on our excitement for 2 days, without unerringly, without going off track, totally up to an assignment from our heart, for 2 days, we've then got 2 plus 1 equals 3. And then when we act on excitement for 3 days, we've got 3 plus 2 equals 5. And then when we act on excitement for 4 days, we've got 5 plus 3 equals 8. And then when we act on excitement for 5 days, we've got 8 plus 5 equals 13. And then we act on excitement for 6 days, we've got 8 plus 13 equals 21. And when we act on excitement for an entire week, we've got 21 plus 13 equals 34. And you can see, rather than just creating 7 days worth of excitement, we've actually created 34 days worth of excitement out of 7 days. And then when we go on to 8 days, we're doing like 34 plus 21, and then we've got 55 days worth of excitement just from 8 days. And you see how it's going exponentially. And this is the teaching of the mystery school. This is the teaching of temple, the Karnak temple. That when we act upon our excitement and our joy and passion, we find it grows and it grows and it grows, and it builds on the vibrational frequency that we created from our excitement, and it grows exponentially. And this is why those beings that really begin to align with their highest excitement and act upon it moment to moment. Perhaps some of these spiritual teachers, if you look at these big spiritual teachers that just seem to explode into the creation and create such an impact in our reality, it's because they're acting upon the excitement unhesitatingly and using this creation potential of creation to create at an exponential rate. And that's why when we're all aligned with our purpose and our calling, and we're all acting upon our highest excitement moment to moment to the best of our ability, we are accelerating at such a rate that we can accelerate this life into a whole new galactic reality in such a short time. But it takes all of us to be fully aligned with our highest excitement all the time. I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense? Let me know if you want me to clarify more in the questions, if that makes sense or not. Hummingbirds in your yard. That's a great sign, Mashari. Hummingbirds, very high vibration, good sign. They're joining in the bliss with us. Hi Greta. Hi Elodium. Oh, I think I already said hi to you. Yeah. I can't understand you because I think you're speaking in Dutch. Hi Inuit. Do you think that's how they learned to move large stones for the pyramids and such? Perhaps they had a lot of wisdom, and yeah, if we fully align with this spiral and the essence of this spiral and begin to act upon our excitement, that's when we begin to get real consciousness expansion and get real deep understandings of the nature of reality. So yeah, I'm sure this assisted. For you can't really create miracles unless you're fully aligned with source. This is how we this is the essence of white magic. The white wizard is the one that is aligned with source, in a sense totally surrendered to higher self and in flow, and pure magic can happen, and it does happen when we are aligned with source in this way, and we are acting upon our excitement moment to moment, acting selflessly, surrendered, because we're not attached to the outcome. We're just doing it because we want to serve and we want to flow and we want to be aligned with source and bring into this reality whatever source wishes to create through us. This is the true white wizard. This is the true white magi. And as we begin to act in this way, magic really begins to happen. Synchronicity. We see manifestation happening. So yeah, I'm sure this helped them achieve the ability to move massive stones and such. Indeed, the only real reality is oneness. We are actually the whole existence. Duality is something we created from oneness to explore and experiment with consciousness. We are not only what we see in the mirror. At base level consciousness, we are actually the whole universe and everything in it. Duality consciousness is just a protocol, a program like a game. I understand that the bliss of a heart-centered orgasmic experience is a portal of manifestation. I also heard that the Ankh is a representation of that. Can you drop some knowledge here? Okay, 1 second. Looks like we're going to Egypt again, which is cool because I love Egypt. So get my prop out again. Can you focus, camera? So here we have the Ankh that Mishari is questioning about. I also heard that I understand that the bliss of a heart-centered orgasmic experience is a portal of manifestation. I also heard that the Ankh is a representation of that. Can you drop some knowledge here? The Ankh was considered, as I understand it in ancient Egypt, to be the most powerful of their magical tools. And the reason why that is so is because the Ankh symbolises man, it symbolises a human. And specifically it symbolises God in man, it symbolises our true nature. This is what this symbol means. It's symbolic of man, human, but it's symbolic of the true nature of man, our infinite nature, our God nature. And the reason why the Ankh was considered the most powerful magical tool in ancient Egypt and the most powerful healing tool is because it was symbolizing the fact that the most powerful healing tool and the most powerful thing in creation, in our creation, is us, because we are God. So the Ankh symbolizes us, and it symbolizes us in our true nature as God, which is the most powerful tool. So I guess it is a portal into manifesting bliss, manifesting infinite consciousness in ourselves, manifesting infinite orgasmic heart-centered bliss in ourselves, because it symbolizes God in man, it symbolizes our infinite nature, our true nature as the one. This is what the Yayal and the Pleiadians tell me. Your life is perfect as it is, because you are actually the whole of existence. Duality is just a game that we are playing within consciousness. Live in the moment and build off that momentum to the next moment. Yeah, that's really the secret. It's all about living in the moment, and the idea of using the essence of this spiral and the manifestation power of aligning with this spiral expansion of consciousness is to always live in the present moment. That's the secret. Every block, you could say, is when we're on the 1 or the 3 or the 5 or the 8 or the 13. The secret is that when we've reached the 13 essence of the spiral through following our heart, is that we always stay centered, we always stay present, because we always create from the present moment. We don't go into our mind that tells us we need to do this and this and this, because as soon as we go into the mind, we're out of the present moment, we're out of the creative potential of the present moment. So we always need to stay centered in the present moment. Because if we get to 13 or 21 or 34 in the spiral and we're really expanding and really creating as a powerhouse, but then we go back to the mind and say, oh, and now I need to this and this and this, we've lost it, and we're all the way back to 1. So that's where we've got to keep the momentum, always stay present, always stay centered, always stay aligned with our highest excitement. And that's how we use this spiral growth pattern of creation to really expand at a super accelerated rate. Okay, guys. So I think we're about there for today. So we've reached the end of the questions, and we seem to have gone about an hour already, almost. Is that right? How long have we been on here? 57 minutes. That went fast. Went super fast. We must be aligned. We must be in the flow. So great to see you guys. Thanks for joining the live stream. I'll be back same time next week. Check out my website if you're interested in joining in the Pleiadian First Contact Play Shop or the Learn to Channel course. Go to my website, jonathancmartin.com, and check out the events section at the top. Hope to see you there. So thank you, everyone. Stay in bliss. Relax the mind. Drop out of the mind into the heart. Stay centered, in present, in bliss, in the present moment, and act upon your impetus, act upon your heart's calling to move forward in unison. That is the secret, to not listen to the fear-based mind that tells you you have to earn money, you have to do this, to do this, to do this. You just need to surrender to the present moment, drop into the bliss, stay centered into the bliss, stay centered and all things will come to you. Stay centered in this bliss. And from that place, wait for the impetus, wait for the excitement, wait for the heart's calling to move in a certain direction. And when you move from that way, you're moving in unison with consciousness, you're moving in unison with the universe. And from that place, everything manifests effortlessly because you're moving in unison with your higher self, with God, with your lower self, and you're all moving in unison. So everything has the same impetus to manifest together. You're all manifesting that bliss of creation altogether. So stay centered and ride the spiral into a new bliss-filled fourth density golden age of love and light. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Back same time next week for the live stream, 6 p.m. UK time. Have a wonderful day. Shivai. Be the bliss. Be free.